The commander's hands are shaking. Not from fear, he's too exhausted for fear. From starvation.
Too high.
From watching his men die one by one for 93 days. From knowing that when the sun rises, the gates will shatter. There are 200 civilians huddled in the keep. Women, children, the wounded, the elderly who refuse to leave. Tomorrow, the enemy will be inside these walls. Where do you hide them when there is nowhere left to? The granary has been empty for 11 days. The last horse was slaughtered 9 days ago. Its meat divided into portions so small they barely filled a child's palm. The well ran dry 3 days ago. Poisoned, the scouts said, though no one saw the enemy approach it. Men drink their own urine now, or squeeze moisture from moss scraped off the northern wall. Lord Aldrich stands at the battlements, watching the enemy campfires spread across the valley like a plague of stars. 10,000 men, maybe more. They don't need to attack, they've already won. They're just waiting for starvation to do their work for them. Behind him, the castle breathes its last. The defenders number 78. Most are boys who should be learning a trade. Some are men who've already lost their sons. All of them are dying, slowly, from the inside out. Dysentery has claimed 20 in the past week. Men who survived arrow storms and siege towers, felled by their own failing bodies. The civilians are worse. Mothers hold children who can no longer cry, too weak for tears. The wounded lie in the chapel, where the priest, Father Matthias, moves among them with nothing but whispered prayers. No medicine, no food, no hope. And yet tonight they must move. Tonight they must decide who lives and who stays to die. The war council gathers in the great hall. It's cold, no wood left for fires. The only light comes from a single tallow candle, guttering in a pool of its own melted fat. Around the table sit Aldrich's remaining captains. Sir Gareth, his left arm in a sling from a wound that won't heal. Sir Thomas, barely 30, already grey at the temples. Captain Rourke, the Irish mercenary who's been fighting for coin so long he's forgotten his real name. And in the corner, watching with hollow eyes, sits Lady Alara, Aldrich's wife, the mother of 2 children who've already been sent to the crypt with the other women.
Hold my hand tightly.
The question isn't if we fight tomorrow, Aldrich says, his voice like gravel. It's where we put the innocents when the gates give way. No one speaks. They've all been dreading this conversation. The underground tunnels, Gareth says finally. The ones from the old Roman foundations. They lead to the forest, half a mile outside the walls. Rourke shakes his head. Those tunnels collapsed in the earthquake, remember? 1342. That was 40 years ago. No one's been down there since. The crypts, Thomas suggests. Below the chapel. The enemy won't look for living people among the dead. They'll burn the chapel, Rourke says flatly. They'll burn everything. Fire is faster than swords. They won't stop to check whose bones are whose. The candle flickers. Aldrich watches the shadows dance across his wife's face. She hasn't spoken. She's been silent since the council began. The inner keep, he says. We fall back, barricade the doors, make our last stand there, with everyone together. You'll trap them, Alara says softly. The women, the children. You'll trap them in a stone box with no food, no water, and no way out. Better than surrendering them to the enemy. Lord Aldrich, she meets his eyes. You don't know what they'll do to them. You've heard the stories, the villages they've taken, the women they've... She can't finish. She doesn't have to. The room grows colder. Father Matthias stands at the altar of the chapel, looking at the faces of the women and children huddled in the pews. The children don't understand what's happening. They're too hungry to understand, too cold. They just know that Mother is crying and Father is somewhere outside, holding a sword he can barely lift. The priest has told them God will protect them. He has told them the castle will hold. He's been lying to them for weeks, and his soul is black with the weight of it. But he's about to lie again. The crypt is safe, he tells them. The enemy will look for the living among the living. They will not search among the dead.
Only that you are not alone.
A woman named Margaret, a widow whose husband died on the walls during the second week, lifts her head. Father, my daughter can't breathe.
Quickly.
The crypt, the
Stay
air.
hidden in the darkness.
There's no air in
and do
those
not
tombs.
Be brave, my sons.
God will
The
provide,
light will guide
Matthias says, hating
We're scared,
himself.
Father.
But Margaret doesn't believe him. He can see it in her eyes. No one believes him anymore. In the armory, Sir Thomas watches the men prepare their weapons. Swords that haven't been sharpened in 3 weeks. Spears with cracked shafts. A handful of arrows left in the castle's entire stores. The boy next to him is 15. His name is William. His father was the blacksmith, killed during the 3rd assault. He holds a pike with trembling hands. You don't have to be here, Thomas says. Yes, I do,
Hush now!
William whispers. There's nowhere else to go.
The walls hold.
And Thomas realizes the truth. The boy is right. There is nowhere else to go. The castle is their
Gently now,
home.
mind the
It's their
steps.
prison.
Shh,
It's their
don't
tomb.
cry. They won't
He looks
find
at the
us
boy's
here.
hands, still soft, still unmarked by calluses,
Breathe, my love.
and thinks of his own sons,
Don't leave
sent to
me.
the crypt an hour ago. He told them they'd be safe. He told them he'd see them at dawn. He lied. The countdown begins. Not measured in minutes or hours, but in breaths, in heartbeats, in the slow, inevitable movement of shadows across the castle walls.
Run!
Aldrich walks the battlements one last time. He can see the enemy camp clearly now. The bonfires, the tents, the siege towers being assembled in the darkness. Monstrous structures of wood and iron designed to overtop his walls and spill soldiers into his home like spiders from a broken nest. His armor weighs more than it should. Starvation and exhaustion have stripped his body to bones wrapped in skin. You should sleep, Elara says, appearing beside him. I can't.
Be
What are we
brave,
going to
my
do?
sons. The
She
light
doesn't
will
need
guide
to
you.
specify.
We're scared,
She means
Father.
the women, the children, their own 2 children hidden in the crypt with the others, waiting for a dawn that will bring nothing but death. Aldrich looks out at the enemy camp. There's a plan. I need you to trust me. She looks at him with eyes that understand everything. You're going to surrender, aren't you? I'm going to make them believe we're going to surrender. Then what? He doesn't answer. He's not sure he knows. The forest escape. The idea forms in his mind like a half-remembered dream. There's a postern gate on the eastern wall, hidden by ivy and centuries of neglect. The path from the gate leads through the woods to the next valley. A 3-hour journey for the healthy, twice that for the wounded and elderly. But the forest is patrolled. The enemy's scouts move through those woods like ghosts. They'll hear the footsteps. They'll see the women's skirts catching in the underbrush. They'll catch the children and drag them out of the darkness, screaming, while the rest scatter into the trees where there's nowhere to run. Unless they split the groups, move in silence, no torches, no crying. The mothers will have to hold their children's mouths, will have to force them to be silent while they step over roots and through brambles and across streams where the water is so cold it steals the breath. The command spreads from the war council to the officers, from the officers to the soldiers, from the soldiers to the civilians. The plan is simple. 2 options. Option 1, the crypts. A small group, maybe 30, including Aldrich's own children. They'll be hidden among the bones, beneath the chapel, where the enemy's bloodlust will pass them by. Option 2, the forest. The rest, the majority, will attempt to slip through the postern gate at the stroke of midnight. They'll follow the old hunter's path, the one so overgrown the enemy doesn't know it exists. And a third option, a terrible option, Aldrich keeps to himself. Midnight strikes. The forest group gathers at the postern gate. 80 civilians, mostly women and children, with a few elderly and wounded too frail to move quickly. Sir Thomas stands with them, his duty to get them to the next valley before dawn. He'll stay, Thomas had said to Aldrich, by the children. And Thomas, torn between duty and fatherhood, had made his choice. He would lead the forest escape. He would save as many as he could. The gate creaks open. The forest swallows the first group before the sound dies away.
Get up now!
The crypt group descends. 20 women, 30 children, and 4 wounded men too far gone to walk. They follow Father Matthias down the worn stone steps, into the darkness where the dead have lain for generations. The children cling to their mothers. The air is thick and cold and smells of rot.
Check the bushes.
The tombs line the walls, centuries of Aldrich's ancestors, their stone effigies watching with empty eyes.
The tunnel has been breached.
This way,
Heading this way.
Matthias
We must
whispers,
seal the lower
moving
gates
toward
now.
the farthest chamber.
Quietly.
We'll be hidden behind the altar of the old chapel. The crypt was never meant for the living. The women huddle together, sharing body heat in the damp cold. The children cry softly, muffled by their mother's hands. In the enemy camp, a man named Devereux watches the castle with interest.
Please, God,
He has been
deliver us
paid
from
well.
evil. Protect the
Gold
innocent.
coins hidden in his tunic, enough to
Sleep
start a
now,
new
little
life
one.
in
You
the
are
south,
safe here.
far from these cold northern lands. He was inside the castle for 3 weeks before the siege began. He knows every passage, every hidden room, every secret the lord of the castle thinks is his alone. He knows about the postern gate. He knows about the crypts. He knows about the tunnels, though they may be collapsed. He knows about the inner keep's hidden pantry, where the real stores are kept, hidden from the starving civilians. The enemy commander stands beside him. "You're certain?" "I'm certain," Devereux says. "They'll try to escape tonight. The postern gate. It's their only option." "And the women?" "They'll be hidden. The crypt below the chapel. It's where they always hide when the castle is about to fall." The commander smiles. It's a thin, cruel smile. "Send men to the forest. Send men to the crypt.
Quiet
We'll catch
now,
them like
little
mice
one.
in a trap." Aldrich stands alone on the battlements as the first screams rise from the forest. "They're waiting for us," the guard says, running up the steps, breathless. "They have men hidden. They're slaughtering them, my lord." Aldrich doesn't move. He should have known. He should have expected it. The enemy is too clever, too prepared. They've been watching for weeks. They know every move he's going to make. And then the chapel bell begins to ring. No one is ringing it. It tolls of its own accord. Or perhaps someone is inside, someone who's been waiting for this moment. The crypt is open. The women and children are on their knees in the darkness. The tomb has been broken open. The bodies inside, ancient bones, dust and shroud, lie scattered across the floor. And in the center of it all, standing among the dead, is Devereux. "You didn't think you could hide forever," he says, his voice echoing in the stone chamber. "Did you think we wouldn't find you?" One of the women screams. Another holds her child tighter. Father Matthias steps forward, his hands raised.
Please, I
"In the
beg
name
you,
of God."
do not
There is no
defile
God
this
here,
holy
Devereux
place
says.
with violence.
"There is only mercy, and that mercy must be earned." Aldrich's youngest son, 5 years old, clings to his mother's skirts. His mother is crying. His sister, 7, is not. Her eyes are fixed on Devereux, and there is something in them that has no fear.
Gaining on us. Help!
She is
Someone help
waiting.
us!
The forest is burning. The postern gate is shattered. The enemy swarms through the gap. Torches and swords and men who've been starving for the same 3 months, hungry for blood. Sir Thomas watches them come, knowing he can't stand, he can't fight, he can't do anything. The group he was leading has already been cut down. Women, children, all of them. He knows what he will find if he looks behind him. And then he remembers his own children, his sons, still in the crypt. He doesn't know if they're alive or dead. He will never know. Dawn is an hour away. Aldrich stands at the inner keep, his men around him. The enemy is inside the walls. The women and children are gone. The crypt is taken. The forest is fire. What else is there to fight for? And then he hears it, the sound of footsteps in the darkness, the voice he thought he'd never hear again. "My lord," she whispers. His wife, alive. She has his daughter, still alive. "They took the others," she says. They took everyone
the
else."
others.
Aldrich looks at her, looks at his child. The dawn is coming, and the castle is falling. But somewhere, hidden in the darkness, in a place they thought no one would find, there is one more child. Not his. The blacksmith's son, William, who hid not in the crypt, not in the forest, not in the tunnels. He hid in the one place the enemy would never think to look. The armory. Among the broken weapons and cracked shields. Among the dead. And when the enemy comes for him, he will be ready. Because when you're 15 and you've lost everything, and the castle has fallen, and the men are dead, and the women are gone, you have nothing left to lose.
They took the others.
Dawn breaks, and the siege is over. The sun rises over the castle. Smoke drifts from the forest. In the crypt, 20 women and 30 children are led out, blinking in the unfamiliar light. The enemy commander surveys the scene. He's won, but he's not satisfied. "Find the girl," he says, "the one who looks like she knows something."